Hello guys, welcome to Flashback Flicks. If you are new to channel then don't forget to subscribe. So let's start our recap. Today we are going to recap 2019 comedy/adventure animation movie Spycies. Our story begins sunny morning in the bustling city, and Secret Agent Willie, a sleek and cunning spy cat, was on a mission. Alongside him was his loyal chimpanzee partner, who was supposed to finalize a deal for a newly discovered radioactive element. Willie, ever vigilant, scanned the surroundings and spotted a rather suspicious leopard on a racing motorcycle. His instincts screamed danger, but the mission leader's orders were clear: wait until the deal was done. Willie's patience was tested as the briefcase exchange began. Suddenly, chaos erupted. The leopard and his henchmen stormed in to steal the briefcase, sparking a high-speed chase across the city. Willie jumped on a flying motorcycle, zipping through the streets and alleyways, hot on the trail of the thieves. The chase led to rooftops, where the briefcase was tossed back and forth between the thieves, causing mayhem. In a dramatic turn of events, Willie cornered the leopard in a tea house. The ensuing scuffle left the tea house in shambles, but Willie emerged victorious, apprehending the leopard and securing the briefcase. Triumphantly, he returned to the agency, expecting accolades for his bravery. Back at the agency, Willie's confidence quickly turned to dismay. Captain Coulter, an imposing elephant with a no-nonsense attitude, was furious. The destruction left in Willie's wake had caused public outcry, painting the agency in a negative light. As punishment, Coulter demoted Willie to a security guard on a remote research platform in the East Sea. The cat protests vehemently, insisting that he's the agency's top agent, but Coulter's decision is final. Willie is flown by helicopter to the remote research platform where he meets Hector, a dedicated mouse scientist. Hector warmly welcomes Willie. Days pass in monotonous succession as Willie adjusts to his new role. Willie remains restless, longing for action, while Hector remains glued to his favorite soap opera playing on a small TV in the control room. When they let off guard, a submarine approaches, and 3 intruders infiltrate the platform undetected. But Vladimir and Hector did not notice, because Hector was fighting Vladimir, giving him a spoiler of his favorite show. During this fight, Vladimir sees the red light, which is the signal for intruders. Willie and Hector discover the intruders hacking into the platform's systems. A frantic chase ensues through the platform's narrow passageways. Vladimir's spy training kicks in as he expertly dodges drone attacks and returns fire. Hector, less experienced in combat, fumbles with his weapon before ingeniously hacking into one of the enemy drones, turning it against its masters. Despite their best efforts, the intruders manage to breach the secure storage area. They make off with a cylinder containing radiosite, a highly volatile and secretive substance, but end up dropping a book. Willie arrives at the foot of the ladder and retrieves the book. When the mission fails, the two return to the headquarters. Captain Coulter is livid. His booming voice echoes through the office as he reprimands the duo for letting the radiosite fall into enemy hands. However, a glimmer of hope emerges when Vladimir presents a clue left behind by the thieves, a book from a local hospital. Seizing this lead, Coulter gives Vladimir one last chance at redemption. His new mission: infiltrate the hospital, locate the stolen radiosite, and unmask the mastermind behind the theft. Hector, much to Vladimir's chagrin, is assigned as his partner for this crucial operation. Willie disguises himself as a nurse and puts Hector to sleep with a sleeping gas, carrying him inside as if he were a patient. As soon as he passes through the entrance, he leaves Hector there, and going to investigate on his own. Willie walks through the corridors until he reaches the director's office, a grizzly bear that has the exact size and shape of the radiosite thief, qualifying him as a possible suspect. Willie leaves to continue investigating when he finds Nurse Chloe and her team pushing the rhino to the emergency room. Because of the weight, the staff can barely move the stretcher, and Chloe asks Willie for help. Noticing the rhino's weight, he takes a fire extinguisher and puts it under the stretcher, breaking the valve so that the cylinder acts as a propellant, almost destroying the entire hospital. They manage to get to the emergency room in time, and the rabbit starts monitoring his vital signs, discovering that he is about to collapse from hypothermia. While they tried to rewarm the patient with the defibrillator, Kev and Jim, tried to fix a drinks machine and accidentally knock out the hospital's power. Now that the defibrillator has stopped, Willie sees an eel in the aquarium and has the idea of using it to shock the rhino. Thanks to this, the large mammal's heart starts beating again, and it begins to recover its body heat. After reviving the rhino, Willie and Chloe go out to talk. In the lobby, the spider wakes up the Hector and asks what he's doing in the hospital. As he is still under the effects of the drug, Hector tells them that he is a secret agent in disguise, causing him to be taken to the psychiatric ward, along with other patients who have escaped. When he regains his senses, he somehow managed to escape psychiatric ward. The rat scientist goes to Willie's, who takes him into a room to talk on the spot. The two argue again, and the Willie says that Hector is nothing but a burden. Furious, the rat knocks over a patient chart and starts to run out of the room, but before he can leave, Willie sees that the stretcher was supposed to belong to the rhinoceros. As the animal was partially frozen, the cat says that it is impossible for it to walk, and assumes that the rhino has been captured. As they delve deeper into the hospital's secrets, they uncover a hidden underground floor in the hospital's secret underground floor. Willie, Hector, and Mia, a B actress who joins their investigation. Willie finds a mural with several photos of the doctor and a map of Mammoth Island, indicating that he really is the ice demon. On the other side of the room, Hector finds a folder with secret files on climate change and an old VHS tape. Walking around the place, the spies find a cupboard full of radioactive element and a suit identical to the ones the invaders wore. Realizing the doctor's plan to use the stolen radioactive element for his exoskeleton, they prepare for a final confrontation. Cycling to an antique store. There, the two agents ask for the device and go to the back of the store to watch the VHS tape. As soon as they put the object in the VCR, Willie discovers that the recordings are from the agency and that the doctor had been a member for over 20 years. In the tapes, the bear is on Mammoth Island, the only place where the species existed until then. Because of global warming, the island's mammoths have begun to disappear, and the doctor went there to carry out some experiments with his climate machine, using radio-Z energy to reverse the rise in temperature on the planet. Thinking he can reverse all the climate disasters on the planet, the doctor turns on the machine right in the center of the island, cooling the flowers that were already wilting from the heat. Despite the success, something goes wrong, and the machine overloads, freezing the flowers and causing an explosion of ice that wipes out almost everyone on the island. The agents finish watching the tape, and Hector says that it proves that the doctor is involved in the extinction of the mammoths and also in the development of the freeze ray. Willie receives a call from Captain Coulter and goes to his office. Hand over everything he has discovered. When he learns that the bear is to blame for everything, the elephant says that everyone thought he was eliminated after exterminating the mammoths, but now that they know he's alive, he'll go with his men to the hospital to hunt him down. As a way of rewarding his agents, Coulter stands up and says he will promote them, allowing Hector to see a bandage on the captain's arm. Before the mouse can come to any conclusions, Coulter's assistant gathers up the paperwork and puts it on a shelf, which is actually the mechanism to a secret room where the exoskeleton is hidden, revealing that the ice demon is Captain Coulter, who is a mammoth and shaves his hair to look like an elephant. Now that they have discovered his secret, Coulter arrests the three of them along with the leopard. The leopard approaches to fight with Willie, but Hector manages to keep the peace with a video game, and the three of them join forces to escape. Thanks to the map tattooed on the feline's back, the two agents manage to escape and go straight to the hospital, entering the secret floor to talk to the doctor. There, Willie meets Chloe and discovers that she is also part of the doctor's team and that she helped to break into the platform. The rabbit then reveals that she always knew he was an agent but was surprised to discover that he was enough to think that the doctor was the ice demon. Confused, the two start asking questions, and Chloe decides to take them to the doctor's office, where she explains that she stole the radiosite to power his machine and prevent global warming. Face to face with the doctor, he talks about the accident on Mammoth Island and reveals that he has been hiding in the hospital since that day, working on his research with radiosite to save the endangered species. After the doctor has finished speaking, Hector tells him that Coulter is a mammoth and that members of the agency are about to break into the hospital to arrest him. To protect the innocent, Willie joins the doctor and tries to tell the soldiers who Captain Coulter is, but the agents don't believe him, and a battle breaks out in the middle of the lobby. Being trained, Willis and the others manage to knock out almost the entire agency squad, but they are outnumbered and end up trapped. At that moment, Hector appears with reinforcements from the psychiatric ward and manages to knock out several soldiers. As Jim approaches the battlefield, Kev takes a coin and puts it in the coffee machine, giving a whole cup to the snake, who turns back into a dragon. However, enemy reinforcements also arrive, and Coulter appears with his exoskeleton, freezing everyone around him. To confront him, Jim spits a huge blast of fire, and the ice demon responds with a freezing ray, turning the dragon into a crystal. To end the battle, the Doctor appears in front of Coulter and decides to give himself up. Before finishing off the bear, the mammoth in armor tells him that he was only a baby when he arrived on the island, promising to save the mammoths. Although the elders believed him, Coulter's father already imagined that something could go wrong and decided to send his son away in a boat, allowing the little animal to see his species become extinct from afar. After the sea froze over, Coulter returned to the island and found his family gone. Repentant, the Doctor says it was an accident and that Coulter is free to complete his revenge, but Chloe and Willis refuse to allow it and join the fight. The rabbit jumps towards radioactive it but ends up being frozen. Undeterred, Willis doesn't give up and pursues his former captain with an ice stake. However, he is pushed away and exposed to the freezing blast at the last second. Hector steps in to save his friend but ends up frozen in his place. Mia then appears, determined to avenge her biggest fan. She uses her antenna to command an army of drones that fly around the villain, trapping Coulter in a vortex of ice. Taking advantage of the distraction, Willis grabs a gun and runs up behind the mammoth, asking the beast to clear the way. He fires a shot right into the radioactive tank. Even after his freezing gun explodes, Coulter refuses to give up and takes Mia prisoner. Before he can do anything, the Doctor appears and shows the captain that he managed to save his sister on the day of the accident. Coulter surrenders when the Doctor uses the power of the radioactive to unfreeze everyone who was frozen. This has been Recap of Spycies movie, so what do you think about this recap? If you like it, don't forget to subscribe and comment. Until next time, stay happy.